I've not had a fun day. Really haven't.
2 Whitehill soldiers?
And a Bolton. They killed my family. And for what? My sister, she was only 8 years old.
This never would have happened with the Starks in power. It's unimaginable. Unacceptable. You have my condolences.
Thank you, Maester.
A lot of things wouldn't happen if the Starks were still in power.
The blade cut deep, but I should be able to save your leg.
I'm a big fan
Your
of Stark
justice was
family in
swift.
general. I have so
Some
much.
will call it vengeance. No
Stark
doubt the
shit.
Whitehills
I got
will
a
claim it was murder.
Warriors Coming
It was
shirt.
your family. I can't say I would have done any different than you. But the Whitehills won't see it that
I
way.
had no choice.
They attacked me. I had no choice but to defend myself.
Of course. And we can't let the Whitehills just walk all over us. These maggots ought to help prevent infection.
Ew.
Hold the wound open for me, would you?
Telltale loves to do shit like this, don't they? Ew. Gross. That's gross.
These are dark days, I fear. To lose the lord of the house and the eldest son through such a
And then they just leave
despicable
them there.
act of treachery and betrayal.
That's lovely.
Greater houses than ours have fallen in times such as this. The late Lord Forrester was a good man. And poor Roderick, a serious man, but he would have made a good lord.
Our house will never fall.
By the gods, let's hope you're right. The future of this house is in Lord Ethan's hands now, although he is young and altogether unprepared to lead. Right. This might hurt a bit.
Well.
Hold this for me, will you?
See, when people are like, man, I wish I could live in the world of Game of Thrones, I'm like, do you
I
really?
understand from your uncle that Lord Forrester saved your
Do you
life.
really?
He did.
Rather odd, though, that he chose to save you, his squire, and not his son Roderick.
That was a
Roderick
weird thing to
couldn't
say.
handle himself. He was as good with a sword as any man I've seen. It's unfortunate the Citadel doesn't train maesters in the art of warcraft.
This
That's
makes
not
it
how
weird.
it happened. Roderick had already fallen.
Well, I'd imagine Lord Forrester would sacrifice himself to save anyone from his house.
So weird.
Hello.
Like, I don't know,
Lady
he's
Forrester
just acting
will be here
weird.
any
Maybe
moment
it's just
now.
me, but
I'd like you to walk for me first, to see if you can put any weight on that leg.
oh yeah. They got a little limp.
Go on.
But,
Don't stop now. It's better to let the blood circulate.
so time to walk around, look at shit. But yeah, anyway, I was saying, like, I don't know why anybody would want to live in this world. Because you have to do, like, hardcore medicine shit like that. You know, they couldn't do things today that are super easy, were so much harder back then. I mean, they're super expensive now, don't get me wrong, but, like, you'll live through them. You know? Back with this kind of thing, I mean, that's just, it was dicey. It was real dicey. Even without all the constant wars and people being terrible and stuff like that. Why am I walking around this way? I'm not doing anything. Do I have to be on a specific side to look at the Lord's chair? I guess so. That was weird. Okay. Look at the window.
The Ironwood Grove.
I'd kind of like to look out that window. Wanted to sort of see, but alright. That's fine too. Yeah, I do have a bit of a limp. But I think it'll get better. Let's look at tapestry. Let's see. Look at... Let's start at Roderick.
Roderick. He was our best warrior by far.
Ooh, look at...
Lord Forrester. It was an honor to squire for him. Gregor the Good.
Okay, look at... Brian.
Ryan. Never easy being the fourth-born son. Lady Forrester. She's always been kind to me. Treated me like I was a Forrester myself. Mira. Still in King's Landing, I suppose. Although, I wonder if they'll bring her home.
Probably not. I mean, considering how well that worked out for Sansa Stark.
Talia and Ethan. I suppose Lord Ethan now. Asher.
Standing there
Exiled
moody
to
with an
Westeros,
axe.
unfortunately.
On the menu codex page, what's that? Codex. Oh, here we go. Sure, I'll read these for those who don't know. Gregor Forrester, Lord of Ironrath. Lord Forrester is a lord of a strong northern house and bannerman of House Stark. As a youth, he famously arm-wrestled Galbart Glover for the privilege of becoming the man's squire. Glover later joked that he'd gladly lose the match all over again. Gregor married Alyssa Branfield, a daughter of Southern Targaryen loyalists before Robert Baratheon seized the Iron Throne. Gregor ascended to the lordship after his father died at the Trident and has led House Forrester during his 16-year sentence. Lady Alyssa Forrester. Lady Alyssa Forrester was born to House Branfield, a minor southern house that was destroyed when the Targaryen dynasty fell. She has been married to Gregor for many years when Robert's rebellion signaled her family's demise, yet she nonetheless felt conflicted between her father's loyalties and her husband's. In time, Alyssa came to feel that Ironrath was her true home, and she embraced her role as the Forrester matriarch. She's silently sworn that she'll never see her family destroyed again. Cool. Roderick Forrester. Lord Forrester's eldest son, Roderick, was trained from an early age to shoulder the burdens of leadership. In truth, he was built for the role, strong, charismatic, and formidable on the battlefield. When Robb Stark called his banners to war, Lord Forrester asked Roderick to stay behind and protect Ironrath, but Roderick would have none of it. Instead, he rode off at his father's side and led the Forrester cavalry with such valor that his name came to be feared amongst the ranks of Lannister soldiers. Asher Forrester, exiled second son. Asher had always been a rebellious youth, brawling in taverns, sleeping with whores, and finding ways to raise his father's ire. But his life took a dark turn when, at age 17, he fell in love with Gwyn Whitehill, the eldest daughter of his father's bitter rival. Bloodshed ensued, and Lord Forrester faced a grim choice: go to war or exile Asher across the narrow sea. He chose the latter. Asher remains in Essos to this day, living as a sellsword, trying not to think about the life he left behind. Mira Forrester. Mira had always been fond of Ironrath, but Lady Forrester, wanting her eldest daughter to learn the ways of Southern Court, arranged for Mira to serve as a handmaiden to Margaery Tyrell. To Mira's great surprise, she enjoyed attending on Margaery at Highgarden and followed her to King's Landing with enthusiasm. Life in the capital has not been easy for Mira, as her straightforward northern ways are often at odds with the subtleties of court life, but she also has more guile than she realizes. Ethan Forrester. I like his contemplative look there. Third-born son. Whereas his elder brothers were natural warriors, Ethan always found himself drawn to the pursuits of the mind, particularly music and books. He also bore a great love for the towering trees of Ironrath, a love he still shares with his twin sister Talia. Ethan was just a boy in House Forrester during the War of Five Kings, but by war's end he has been thrust into a role he was unprepared for. On cool autumn evenings, Ethan can still be heard playing his lute in the Ironwood Grove. Talia Forrester, second-born daughter. During her fourth pregnancy, Lady Forrester dreamed she would birth a daughter with a voice like the summer rain. But as fate would have it, she gave birth to a boy. The infant, Ethan, wailed for hours, until Lady Forrester entered a second labor, this time birthing a girl. She named the girl Talia after her own mother, and from then on Ethan hardly ever cried. Her dream came true, for there's no sound to Ironrath more lovely than that of Talia singing as her brother plays the lute. Ryan Forrester, fourth-born son. The last of the Forrester children, Ryan grew up idolizing his elder siblings and spent many an hour chasing Ethan and Talia through the grove. His youth has been pleasant and shielded from responsibility, but recently Ryan's innocence has begun to fade. When the war began, Ryan was too young to understand why Roderick and his father were leaving home, but the grim realities of a house at war has been impossible to avoid, and Ryan now asks questions for which his siblings have no easy answers. Garrett Tuttle, Squire to House Forrester. Garrett was raised on stories of heroism about the likes of Arthur Dane and Simon Star-Eyes. The son of a pig farmer, he has always aspired to one day become a warrior himself. With the help of his uncle Duncan, who had risen from lowborn origins to become Castellan of Ironrath, Garrett found work in Lord Forrester's stables, rising through the ranks to eventually be named his squire. Garrett has served for Lord Forrester throughout the long months in King Robb's army and is ready to be a warrior in his own right. Duncan Tuttle, Castellan of Ironrath. As a boy, Duncan showed such talent for managing his family's farm that everyone assumed he'd one day take over. But Duncan was fated to run more than fields in a pig pen. In time, he struck up an unlikely friendship with Gregor Forrester, the heir to House Forrester. The two grew close, and when Gregor became lord, he named Duncan his castellan. Many eyebrows were raised, but Duncan proved himself worthy and has served the house well in the long years since. Sir Royland de Gore, Ironrath's master at arms. Roland de Gore joined Forrester's army after his family was wiped out by Ironborn during Balon Greyday's rebellion. De Gore had a natural grasp of military tactics and strategy and came to play a crucial role in the siege of Pike that ended the war. In the months that followed, King Robert awarded Royland a knighthood, and Lord Forrester asked him to serve as Ironrath's master at arms. Sir Royland still holds that position and is known for his military exercise as well as his legendary temper. Nice scars, dude. Master Ortengrin. Maester. Sorry, not master. Originating from a minor house in the Vale, Maester Ortengrin studied at the Citadel in hope of becoming assigned to the Eyrie. But by the time he'd earned enough links on his chain to graduate from Acolyte, Jon Arryn, who had been murdered in the south, was in turmoil. The Citadel ultimately assigned Maester Ortengrin to Ironrath, where he soon came to respect the Forrester family's honor and integrity. He now serves the Forresters with pride and has become a trusted advisor to the Lord. Malcolm Branfield, Lady Forrester's brother. Oh. As a young man, Malcolm was the black sheep of the Branfield family. He liked to roam the countryside and sell the hedge knight, refusing his father's offers of marriage and lands. Malcolm fought bravely alongside his brothers when House Branfield fell, yet he and his sister were the only two survivors. Malcolm now lives with Lady Alyssa's new family, Ironrath, though he still tends to disappear for weeks at a stretch. Malcolm has fathered no children, thus he is the last of the Branfield line. Huh. Interesting. I haven't actually watched any playthroughs or anybody went through these, so I learned some new information reading those, which was exciting. Ironrath, ancient seat of House Forrester. An imposing stronghold surrounded by towering ironwood trees, Ironrath marks the ancestral home of House Forrester. Built over 1,500 years ago by Cedric Forrester and his triplet sons, Ironrath is a testament to the strength and endurance of Ironwood itself. More than one visitor has called Ironrath the most striking keep in the north. Even Ned Stark was said to be envious. Ironrath sits on the edge of the largest ironwood forest in Westeros, which has proven to be a strategic advantage for the house. Nice. That was really interesting. I really love stuff like that. I really do. I love world building and find it all so fascinating.
Seem to be favoring it. Always sad to see a warrior lose a leg.
I'm fine, Maester Ortengrin. Look, I'll show you.
He seemed pretty chill with the idea of cutting off my leg there. But yeah, I love world building stuff, probably because I want to be a writer. I've written a book, actually, for those who haven't heard me talk about it before, because I talk about it all the time. I've written a book, and I'm working on editing it, and I've written a bunch of other things, and I write a shit ton of fan fiction, too. So, if any of y'all are ever interested in that, just ask me, and I'll be happy to send you links to some stuff. I write fan fiction in all kinds of fandoms. Like, for those who watched my Life is Strange episode 5 playthrough, I have a bunch of ideas for stuff, and I've been working on it and hope to get it published soon. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. Okay, it doesn't look like there's a lot I can still look at here. So I guess I look at the medical supplies. Let's look at the healing herbs. Healing herbs. Herbs.
This might help.
Yeah, let's keep that. That's a good idea. Could be useful. Can we keep the bandages too? Because that could also be really useful. I mean, I imagine when you're on the road, clean bandages are not exactly easy to come by. Let's just look. Gross. Right click. Let's show you the sword. That's kind of close to him there.
It's a good thing you've done, bringing that back to House Forrester. By right, that belongs to Lord Ethan now. That sword has been handed down through 50 generations of Forresters.
Okay. Let's talk to you. I'm still like doing the
Does your
Life is
leg feel
Strange
weak?
controls.
No,
I keep clicking
I
and
just
dragging.
wanted to ask you.
I know who the new Lord of the House is. It's Ethan. Why did the White Hills hate us? I mean, I know why, but...
Why did the White Hills hate the Forresters?
I think it's safe to say the feeling is mutual. There's been enmity between the two houses for as long as anyone can remember.
Sort of a
I don't
Hatfields and
doubt
McCoys
someone
kind of
killed
thing.
someone, which led to more killings of someones, and then, well, here we are.
Mixed with the Romeo and Juliet thing with Asher there, as we saw in the profiles.
Can I go now?
I believe your leg will be fine. Only time will tell, but Lady Forrester.
And Talia
Welcome
Forrester.
home, Garrett. We're all relieved to know you survived.
Thank you, my lady.
Talia asked to see you.
Garrett, I heard what happened. Is it true? Your family...
I bet you anything there's like
So sorry.
fan fiction pairing these two just
Me
based
too.
on this one tiny scene alone, despite the fact that she's like 12.
Off to bed now. Hurry on.
If it exists, there is porn of it.
Garrett was just telling me how
And
valiantly
fanfiction
Lord
of it.
Forrester fought to the end,
Trust me.
even when all was lost. I'm sure Lady Forrester would like to know.
He loved
Whatever
his
you can
family.
recall.
Oh,
He was
no.
a hero, my lady.
I meant to say he loved
The
his
bravest
family.
man on the battlefield by far.
Sorry
Yet
about
he was
that.
unable to save his own son.
Don't say that.
You were with Roderick, no? I'm sure it was chaos and confusion, but if you can remember anything...
Nothing could have saved
Sorry,
him.
my lady. Nothing could be done to save him.
He was House Forrester's best.
This has been so incredibly difficult for us, especially the children. But I was told you were the last to see my husband alive.
Yes, my lady.
I know it may be difficult to remember, but if I may ask, was there anything he said?
Any last
like-
words before he passed? If you can remember.
Let's give you the
He
sword.
asked me to return this to House Forrester.
Which is true. I don't want
He
to
said
lie
this
to
is
her.
where it belongs. With his family.
He
Thank
did say
you.
that.
Garrett.
Of course. My
It was
lady.
one of the last
It
things he
demands
said.
a response.
It's too dangerous, especially now.
Now is the time to prove our strength
I'll be sure it's given to Ethan.
against aggression. Duncan, this was our land. They were our people. Your family.
I share your outrage, Sir Royland. I do. But now is not the time to provoke the Whitehills. Not with Ramsay Snow coming to see us bend the knee.
The hell with Ramsay Snow, the bastard.
Garrett, you understand what this means. You killed a Bolton, and Ramsay Snow will want his retribution.
We're the ones that should be demanding retribution.
They
This happened on
attacked me,
Forrester
which is
land.
true.
They attacked me!
And they'll say they were keeping the peace in the name of House Bolton. It's an argument you cannot win. We have to be smart. Ramsay Snow will be
I mean, I
here
guess they
within a
didn't
week.
attack me. I drew
And
my
what
sword,
would you
didn't
ask?
I can't remember
Nothing.
that. Oh well.
I would have us use our heads,
They
while
would
they're
have
still
attacked me.
attached to our shoulders.
Garrett has lost as much as anyone else within these walls. Maybe you can talk some sense into your uncle.
Garrett's suffered enough already. You ask too much of him.
He
Let's demand
deserves to be
justice.
heard.
We should demand justice.
Aye. Justice on their terms, which means they'll have your head.
Justice is taken, not demanded. Then what's to be done?
Ultimately, it will be for Lord Ethan to decide.
He's just a boy who can barely hold a sword. He knows nothing of how to lead men.
He is the lord of this house, and he needs our help. It's bad enough the Boltons would have us bend the knee and swear fealty. But now, this. I'll accuse you of murder, and us of protecting you.
The boy was just defending himself.
I'm not faulting him for what he did.
It wasn't murder. It was justice.
Not in their eyes. It's just the excuse Ramsay Snow would need to put us to the torch and kill us all.
I'd like to see them try.
I'm afraid it's a risk we cannot take, which is why you cannot stay.
Cannot stay. Duncan, the boy has suffered enough.
But where would I go?
The one place beyond the reach of even House Bolton.
You're sending him to the war. The boy's done nothing wrong.
Not in
Time
the
to take
eyes
the
of the
black.
Boltons. I'm afraid it's the only solution.
I mean, I don't really
Especially
think,
now,
you know,
when
there's
the
nothing
house
really
is
I
so
can say. I'm
vulnerable.
gonna go no matter what, I'm sure. So.
I'll do what's best for the house. So I'll go. I'm not afraid.
I know it doesn't seem fair.
Oh,
but
it's
it is
really
what's
not.
best.
That settles it then.
You can have my horse, and I'll see you have plenty of food. But we haven't much time. The Whitehills will come looking for you. Were it up to me, I'd gladly drive a sword through Lord Whitehill's heart if given a chance. I would. And God's willing, someday I will. But for now, I have House Forrester to consider first.
Hello, Horsey.
Lord Forrester would be proud that you're putting the interests of the house ahead of your own. Many of Lord Forrester's best men have volunteered for the wall. His own great-uncle was a ranger with the Night's Watch.
I'll do what's best.
Which often isn't what's easiest, but necessary nonetheless.
Also, didn't he, like, say 2 seconds ago
I've
that
been
he'd give to
waiting for the
Ethan,
right
and
moment
then
to tell
he
you.
just made this happen anyway? Like, I don't like
What?
that. North Grove is not
Lord
far.
Forrester asked me to give you a message. He said, the North Grove can never be lost.
Sorry, you caught me by surprise. It's not often discussed.
What is the North Grove?
If ever.
What is the North Grove?
Most don't even know it exists. They think it's just a myth made up by wildlings and fools, and it's better kept that way.
Okay.
You haven't told anyone else, have you? This is important, Garrett. I need to know the truth.
Lady Forrester asked, but I said nothing.
Well done. Lord Forrester was right to put his trust in you. From this day forward, this will be our secret. But soon, I may need your help. But I can't say anything more just yet. Just know the North
See, I
Grove
feel
may
like
very well be
telling Lady
vital to the
Forrester
future
might
of
be a
this
good
house.
idea, at least. Or
But don't breathe a word of
Ethan
it
now,
to
since he's
anyone
the
at the
Lord,
wall.
so that they can know
Become
about
a
it.
ranger if you can. It will help.
Or whatever. I just feel like the more people you can trust that know information, the better. You know, in case shit happens, basically. I mean, it's always, you know, what happens in a lot of movies and books and TV shows is people
Remember,
don't communicate with
you
each
represent
other.
House
And then-
Forrester. Your actions at the wall will reflect the honor and dignity of the house.
I'll serve
I'll
with honor.
serve with honor.
And then they
I
end up
know
not
you
having
will.
all the information they need, and this usually results in them dying. And it's frustrating. Oh, hey, you survived, dude. I
Garrett,
didn't even
wait!
notice that.
Be safe.
Well, I think I'm going to end it there today, folks.
Ethan?
It's been a lot of fun playing Game of Thrones and talking about it. And I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope to have the next one up soon. And until then, I'm Cosmo, and I'll see you next time. Bye.